Hello everyone. So in this particular video, we are going to understand about the encapsulation. Encapsulation is one of the important concept of object-oriented programming. So you should know about the encapsulation. So let's understand. So it is very simple. With the help of the encapsulation, we can restrict direct access to method and variable. So in object-oriented programming, we create a class like this, right? We create a class, we define a variable, we define a method. Now in a Python by default, what happens? Whatever the variable and whatever the method you are defining, right, that is a public access, means outside of the class also you can access that. So suppose I will create one object equal to the car, and if I'll do object dot a, and if I'll execute, you can see I am able to access this particular variable. Now but what actually I want, whatever the variable I am defining, suppose this variable name is balance and this is the employee balance. Now this actually I want to restrict this, I want to make it private so that outside of the class no one can override this. So what actually I can do with, I can use the encapsulation concept. So how actually I can make this balance as a private? So what you have to use underscore underscore and the particular variable name. Now if I want to access this particular variable outside like this, you can say I will get error because this is now private. Previously whatever it was there, right? If I write balance and if I'll access this, I'm able to access. This was a public access, public variable. But if I'll make underscore underscore, now if I will try to access this, it will give me error. Like it is a car object has no attribute underscore underscore balance. So like that actually we can make any variable private so that the outside of no one can override it or modify it. So that is the use of the encapsulation. So if you are working in any sensitive data like employee balance, or you are working in a banking system, there the balance and the account, that are very sensitive data, right? So you don't want to modify that particular detail. So what actually we do, with the help of the encapsulation, we make it as a private. So like this actually we can make the variable as a private. Now but suppose this particular variable you want to access, so how actually you can access? Because you can see object dot underscore underscore balance I'm writing, I'm getting error, but how actually I can access this? So what actually you can do, inside the method you can access this private variable. Suppose if I write print underscore underscore balance. Now if I'll do object dot, I'll call this particular method only well, and if I'll execute, I'm getting error. How actually we can do self? We have to write self, right? That we have to remember. Self dot underscore underscore balance. If I'll execute, you can see I'm able to access. So whatever the private variable you are defining, right? Inside the method in a same class, actually you can access like this. But outside of the object, you can't access and you can't modify. So that is the use of the encapsulation. So like that, actually we can make any variable as a private. Now let's take another example. I'll take an example how to make this particular method as a private. So I'll create one more class car, and what I will do, I'll create one method. Uh, Let me create one instruct underscore underscore self, and I will just write pass something, and I will create a one method well self, and what I will do, I will write print hello, print hello, like this. Now what I will do, I will create one object equal to the car. We are creating an object. Now this particular method you want to access, right? How actually we can access? If I write object dot well, I will be able to access because this is a as of now public. But this particular method is as of now public, right? But I want to make it as a private. I don't want to access outside. So underscore underscore here also if you write. Now if I will try to access outside, you can say I will get error underscore underscore. So like this actually we can make this also as a private. But suppose this method you want to access, how actually you can access that? So what actually we'll do, we will call this particular method self dot underscore underscore val. This particular thing we will call here, we will initialize this particular one, And now if I will try to execute, you can see I am able to access that. So inside the method, actually we can initialize this particular method, private method. You can see this we are calling here, right? So whenever we are creating object, this is getting called and it is printing the hello. So inside the method you are able to access, but outside of the object you can't modify it. So that is the use of the encapsulation. So what is encapsulation? With the help of the encapsulation, you can make any variable private. Also, you can make any method also private. Now we have understand, like with the help of the encapsulation, we can restrict the access. But there are two level of restricting the access. One is the protected, second is the private. So we were using underscore underscore, right? And if I'm writing underscore underscore, this is nothing but this is a private. But if you write a underscore a, only one time underscore a, this is nothing but this is a protected one. This is a protected one. Now what is the difference between the protected versus a private? So whenever we are defining as a private, then what actually happened, it can only be accessed inside the class. So inside the class only we are able to access that. But in the case of the protected, right, it can be accessed inside the class and subclass. So suppose you have a one class, and after that also we have a you have a one more class that you have inherited. So inside the class and subclass also you can access that in a protected one. But in a case of the private, inside the class only you can access that. So these two things you have to remember. So I hope you got the idea. Please do practice.